Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of With Conviction, a story of hope, horror, and history. My name is Rain, my pronouns are she, her, and I am your GM for this adventure. With me are my very tired heroes for this campaign. Why don't you all introduce yourselves?
Hi there, I'm Alice. I play Desdemona Hartwood. Both of us use she and they pronouns. And Des is a Roseheart Guardian. She's a sort of gothy, punky magical girl with a heart of pink. And she's trying to decide how much to beat up Chris right now.
Hi, I'm Skylin. My pronouns are they and them, and I play Chris Whitlock, whose pronouns are she or any. Chris is our firebrand artillery who is on her way back from doing something very rash and is stewing in a very complicated set of emotions that she can't quite figure out.
And I am Rob. My pronouns are he, him, and I play Eliza, whose pronouns are she, her. Eliza is generally having a bad time today, but she is also our stalwart soul warrior magical girl.
And the last we had left you all, as mentioned, Chris had done something extremely rash and had run off with Jesse to go and try and find the gray that belongs to Hazel. You found it. In the process of finding it, you did get lost, and it took you quite some time to get back. Des, who has been trying to hold this whole situation together with some spider's thread and a prayer, was not particularly happy with you. So, as you and Jesse pull into the driveway and Des is waiting for you, how does that go?
Chris puts the car in park and tosses the keys to Jesse, giving them a look that Jesse can see is just a swirl of emotions. I'm not sure if even Jesse could figure out all of what's there. And she opens the door, closes it, and sits on the hood for just a moment.
I think Des is in the doorway. I think she is watching you get out of the car and just lean on the hood.
Chris folds her arms in front of her, frowns, and then. God damn it. Then she steps away and steps towards Des and puts her arms out like, see? I'm fine. And in fact, that's what she says.
Des doesn't say anything. She kind of walks forward slowly and turns Chris's sort of less friendly gesture into a hug.
Chris pulls herself out of the hug. And
Okay, great. When you, Chris, try to pull away, Des steps back, and you can't move because there's a perfect outline of Des made out of glass, locking your body in.
oh my god.
uh, Des goes, "Yeah, no, this is I'm glad you're okay. Uh,
What the? Des, what?
I had a lot of time to figure out how I was gonna do this, Chris. I'm glad you and Jesse are okay, but
But what? Des?
I'm not sure we're okay, Chris. I get it. I do understand. I want both of them back as quickly as possible. But this is not the way to do it.
Chris just seethes for a moment.
What would we have done if something had happened to either of you?
You're plenty capable, Des.
We didn't know where the gray was. It would just be me because I need your help to rescue Faith. And you'd be out of commission even if you didn't get caught because Jesse would have gotten hurt.
Jesse's the only reason I'm not in there right now.
I think the only reason you're not in there right now is a glass outline of me. But again, I get it. This is not okay. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a team unto myself, and neither are you. And the only way we get through this is as a team.
There's a slow transformation of Chris's face from frustration to pain to sadness to guilt to shame. And she kind of sags against the glass outline of Des.
Tell me where I'm wrong, Chris. Tell me any point of this where I am doing it wrong.
Chris's lips purse. I can't, and you know it.
Yeah, exactly. So stop trying to run off on your own and, I don't know, get yourself
I
killed.
just wanted to help, Des! Hazel didn't want this. And we needed something.
Hazel chose this. She may not have known everything that went into it, but she still was given a chance to walk away, and
Do we
she
know that?
chose it. Yeah, I gave her a chance to back down and talk to us, and she chose herself and this crappy magic garbage over us. She had a chance. And it doesn't make the way that we treated her correct or right. It doesn't make it fair that we got these powers, but she didn't. But she still made choices. We're going to save her, whether she likes it or not. But the key word in that is we. I can't do this without you. I can't do this without Eliza. I need my team. And I need my captain to be playing for this team.
There's a long moment where Chris is just letting all of that sink in. She is still mostly sagged against this glass outline. Don't know if I know how, Des. I seem to have messed it up at every step.
Chris, at what point in our entire lives, not just with all the magic stuff, when have we ever known what we're doing? I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm not asking you to know exactly the right thing to do every single time. I'm asking you to put your trust in your team so that we can put our trust in you.
There's a flash. Chris is transformed and crushes the glass outline of Des before stepping forward to hug Des herself.
She, steps into the hug.
Sorry, Des. I'll figure it out.
We're gonna get her. Chris, we're gonna get her back.
Yeah. You're
And
right,
you
though.
can.
I am trying very hard to figure out what Chris is wanting to say here.
That could be
This-
the end of the scene.
Yeah, this may be.
Yeah, we might just have to leave it at the hug.
Oh, right. Before we do move on to the next scene, Rain, can I take that as are emotionally vulnerable with a friend as my shift trigger?
I think so, yeah. Absolutely.
Can we go in? It's cold.
Yeah. It's time to help Eliza.
So, Eliza, as these
Mm,
two go into your temporary apartment, I suppose, what do they see?
Well, it's kind of distressing. Eliza has. Well, she's slumped face down on the couch. The TV that they set up at the other end of the little improvised living room is playing some mech anime that the other two don't recognize. And it's very cold in this room, despite what Chris just said about going in because it's cold. It is colder inside than it was outside. Frost is once again creeping across the windows. And two broken halves of a bass guitar and also of Eliza's electric guitar are just sitting in the middle of the room.
Eliza? You in there?
Mm.
That's a yes.
Shifts sideways so her face is no longer straight down into the couch cushion.
When Chris walks in, she surveys everything and crosses her arms. Hey, Icy Hot, what the fuck?
Icy Hot is real good.
Thank you. I just came up with it.
Eliza twists a bit and she's looking at Chris now, still mostly just laying there. She's got like the thing where her arms are flat on the couch, her palms facing up.
I said, what the fuck? Eliza?
Yeah.
Are you buying her a new one?
Eliza slowly sits up and looks at the broken halves of the base. I'll apologize if she undoes what she did to Faith. And everything else she's done over the last, let's see, 2 months.
Well, we may be bearing the brunt of that particular assignment, but she's gonna apologize one way or another. So
I don't know about that. Because Eliza sits up fully, and she points at a spot in the carpet where there are a couple of visible scuff marks that never fully got cleaned out. Remember my birthday?
Yeah, Eliza, I remember your birthday.
Remember how it was a light monster?
Uh-huh.
And there's only one source of light monsters around.
Okay, what are you... I get what you're saying, that it's Hazel who's got the light monsters, but what are you driving at?
This wasn't a spur of the moment decision. This wasn't her just being desperate and giving into the light because she needed to help us. She has been planning this for months.
Do we know that?
Well, let's see. When she summoned a light monster and we asked her to help us track it, instead she ran us on a wild goose chase to some random forest clearing. She didn't come clean about the fact that she had summoned it. She has been lying to us this entire time. And for what? What's her endgame here? Do you know what it is? It's just that she wanted to feel special. That she didn't like us sidelining her. And for that, she lied to us. She's been lying to us, I don't know how long, but months.
Do we know if these, I don't know, like functionaries of the twin powers are what create these grays, right?
Eliza sits still for a moment, puts a hand on her chin. Not every time, because the ones I dealt with before I came here, they didn't have people. It was just the monsters. But then the one we've dealt with here, and Chris, the one that you found tonight, both of those have people in them.
Sure, but that doesn't really answer the questions here. Okay, so Hazel
If
has...
you are implying that Hazel sent a monster to attack Daz with the birthday party that she knew about, I think that you don't know Hazel. Because she has spent the last few months just trying to be part of the fucking team. And she got what she thought was a chance to do it, and wanted to show off what tools she had to be able to help. She was wrong.
Yeah, Chris, I'm sorry, but she knew what this was.
Did she?
I don't know if she sent that monster to attack Eliza's birthday party, but when she took on this magic, she would know what it is. She's been helping us with she helped us with the writer.
Yeah, but why? How would she know that it's different from what we have? How the hell do we know what we have in the first place?
Admittedly, we don't know all that much about what we have, but there is a pretty big difference between us and the
Yeah,
writer.
I know the difference between us and the light, but does she?
She's been working with us this whole time.
She
I
knows at least as much as we do, probably more, because you remember all those books she was checking out?
Both of you had this happen. You remember what it's like when you hit one end of the spectrum and your soul and your nerves and your body is completely washed away by that power?
Eliza is looking down at her hands in her lap right now.
I know.
Do you know how much I wanted that? Do you know how hard it is to say no? I don't know how I got out of that. Why the fuck do we think that Hazel is anything less than a victim here?
Because she held out on us for a month and a half and didn't tell us.
And even if she didn't, she had the opportunity to stop for a second and talk to us, and she chose to leave with that faith monster.
At the mention of the faith monster, the windows in this room entirely cover over with ice.
I'm sympathetic, Chris. I have told you we're bringing Hazel back. We're not going to do to her what we did to the writer, but we're not. This isn't really like a moral gray area. She did something bad. Even if she has had bad stuff happen to her, she is still making these choices.
Chris's wings just fold around her.
I don't know what the difference is between us and people like Hazel and the writer. But we still get our choices too.
What's the plan?
From behind her wings, Chris says, "We get Faith first."
I agree.
Yeah.
We need Eliza back in action, and we need no distractions so that we can really, really get to Hazel.
Chris's wings unfurl and then fold up. There's a short flash and she's back in her street clothes.
Des sighs, and for the first time in, at this point, like 2 days, she lets go of the transformation. Goes back to being not pink.
Eliza just slumps back on the couch.
All right.
Chris? Does Hazel have class tomorrow?
I don't know her whole schedule.
Here's what I'm thinking. We want to get Faith back, which means going into Hazel's Gray. But Hazel can't do everything from the Gray. She needs to leave it if she's still gonna have a kind of normal life like we try to. So I think it's best if we go in there when she's not there.
Well, we don't know that she's going to come out of it.
I mean, she still needs to eat, and there isn't a grocery store in there, I'm pretty sure.
I suppose that's true. Well, I guess if we find out that any
Chris, you're
grocery
not
stores
so
are
sure
closed-
about that. It was a pretty large gray.
Des can see the effect on Chris's face that a pit in her stomach would have. I almost got lost in that gray. It's big. It's not half the town, but it goes from almost where we fought the rider to not that far from my house.
Oh, are you saying there is some kind of freaky light monster grocery store?
Oh, what? Just a normal Albertsons?
I mean, I assume you mean that's a grocery store. It would be a Food Lion here. God.
Alright, so She might have a grocery store, but I mean, is Hazel just the type to like sit on some creepy throne made of marble and lounge there in her gray? I don't think so. I think she's going to want to come out of it.
Okay. If she was taken by the light and we don't know how this works, Eliza. She's not all the way like the rider yet, but she might be enough like him that she doesn't need to or can't leave. The rider said something about wanting to get out to spread his influence or whatever the fuck it was. I don't know. I was in the middle. He was punching me.
Yeah, me too. All right, so we can't do anything about whether Hazel is there or not unless we want to try spying on her, which could be fun.
No.
So I don't get to snoop?
Chris just says nothing. She tries very hard to say nothing.
Right, here's what I'm saying. She looks outside and at the fact that it is dark. It's late already. Chris, why don't you go home and let us know if Hazel is there?
She looks at Des. Are you sure you trust me to do that?
Are you still thinking of running in there on your own?
How much do you want faith, Eliza?
I'd kill for her.
Yeah, that's how much I want Hazel. That, I think, is something better left unsaid.
Yeah. Let me see if that hits anything for Eliza, because I was not expecting her to say that.
Yeah, I didn't expect that from Chris either. That just came out. Woohoo!
Can I use any of this scene for encourage your friends despite the odds?
Okay, it doesn't ping any of Eliza's triggers.
I'm convinced by Chris's. I don't know about Des.
Okay. I don't want to reuse the same trigger.
Chris is entirely addressing Des when she speaks next. If you think it would be useful for me to see if Hazel's home or not, again, I will take Jessie home and check, and I will call you as soon as I'm there. And I will come back and sleep here.
Well, if you're going to sleep here anyway, you may as well just check in the morning.
I mean, if she's home, she would have signal on her phone, right?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Not in the gray, then we could just call her.
Chris calls Hazel.
It rings. It rings. It rings. And after the fourth ring, it goes to voicemail.
I can't believe she's screening our calls.
She might be home.
Might be asleep.
But either way, she's not in the gray. So Eliza may actually be correct.
Are we going now?
Chris, a message pops up on your phone. It's from Morgan. It says, "Is everything okay?"
Chris types back. What do you mean?
Hazel said you two got in a fight.
Chris responds, "Oh, she's not wrong. Is she home?"
Yeah. She just need to grab some stuff. If you need to talk, let me know.
Yes. I just realized that Chris completely misinterpreted Morgan's text message. Des, she's home. Only for a little bit. Picking stuff up. I really want to talk to her.
She's not picking up her phone, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm not certain that she's gonna want to talk to any of us.
Chris steps forward and just buries herself in Dez's shoulder.
I know. I'm sorry, bud. It's not fair if Hazel. And we can argue about whether we were fair to Hazel, but give her a sec and give us a sec and we're gonna go get her.
What if we're too late?
I don't think we're too late. The writer had, what, 2 centuries in there?
Yeah,
Somewhere
basically.
around there? And uh, he was still hanging on. We're gonna have time, at least Hazel's natural lifespan, uh, to get this solved. And we're not letting it take that long.
I wish she would pick up.
I know. I'm so sorry.
Sorry I ran off, Des. I just didn't want to lose her.
I know, Chris, I know. It's okay, we're not gonna lose her.
Eliza has by this point stood up and she joins the hug.
We're not losing faith either. Eliza, I promise.
We're not gonna lose anyone.
We're not going to forget her.
No. Not again.
Speaking of not forgetting anybody, Jesse's in the car still, right?
Yeah, we just left them there.
Well, I think that given it's their car, they've probably just driven home by now.
Oh yeah, maybe they texted Chris or something to be like, hey, you still need me here?
If you look outside, you can see that Jesse is still in their car. And they seem to be, at least from a distance, the best you can tell is it looks like they're doing breathing exercises.
Chris wipes her face and let me go get Jesse. She pops outside and knocks on the window and waves at Jesse.
Jesse opens the door.
Come on. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing better. I just...
Chris pulls them out of the car and into a hug.
Jesse returns the hug.
You don't have to deal with that kind of stuff. That's my job.
I'm questioning that now.
What?
Is it really a good idea for you to be... Is it a good idea for anyone to be running into this?
Jesse,
Huh?
it doesn't have to be a good idea to be the right thing. And in any case, it's not much of a choice for us. That stuff is... You saw whatever it was that was trying to mow a lawn. That was probably somebody, like, a day ago.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I have to help fix it. I'm one of the only ones who can. Jesse?
Okay, fine, but that doesn't mean I have to like it.
No.
I'm gonna worry about you so much.
I love you too.
Good lord, I feel old.
Chris squeezes them tighter. Until they probably can't breathe for a moment because Chris's forearms are still pretty dense.
Yeah, but they're used to it.
I have a thing for during that scene, still in the pool house.
Yes?
After Chris walks out, Eliza just sits back down on the couch, looking at her hands in her lap for a moment. You know, Des, I know you said we're not going to lose anyone, but we did lose someone already.
Who?
Tilly.
Des drops down next to her. He goes, "Yeah, I know. Um, losing people that way to, you know, your average 2 centuries trapped in a never-ending metaphysical hellscape. It's difficult to lose people. I was really close with my grandma, and I know she had a long life and all that, but it didn't make losing her any easier.
Did anything help?
Yeah, yeah, of course. It does get easier. It gets better. Time, obviously. Um, and I know that sucks to hear when you're in it, but it gets easier. It gets better, and finding ways to remember how much you love her is a big one. Did you find out what happened to Tilly after we left?
Haven't had a chance.
Well, maybe we should do that. I know we're also pretty darn in it, but let's. This is something worth making time for.
Eliza suddenly slumps against Des and then into her shoulder, and she is just outright crying at this point. It's like ugly, big, wailing sobs.
And I think that might be a good place for us to wrap up this episode.
Can I get that fifth trigger? Can I get one shift trigger from there? I'll take emotionally
You're really
vulnerable
building
or
up that
encourage
light.
friends. I got reset to 0, thank you. So I just need to have something to play with.
All right, all right. And what was the?
Whichever one you want to give me, either encourage your friends despite the odds or emotionally vulnerable with a friend. I'd do it all.
Definitely encouraging your friends despite the odds.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good place for us to wrap up this episode. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening. Thank you to my players. I look forward to seeing you all next week. Have a good night. Thank you again for joining us on this adventure. With Conviction is a production of Silver Maiden Games. If you would like to play Conviction, check out the game at silvermaidengames.itch.io. Music for the intro and outro of this podcast is A Soul with Conviction by Doom Vega, who you can find on Bandcamp. Music within the episodes is by Rachel Rose Mitchell, who you can find on Bandcamp and Spotify. All rights to the music are retained by their original artist. Production and editing are done by myself and the With Conviction cast. Thank you all. This would not be what it is without you. You can find this podcast on Spotify and YouTube or silvermaidengames.wordpress.com. You can also find more about the game, podcast, and ways to contact us at silvermaidengames.wordpress.com.